76,000 are settling in for the next chapter in a great rivalry. The Raiders and the Broncos on NBC's Sunday Night Football.
Let's put a stamp on what this team's about, baby. The dominate stage, right? Go Broncos on 3. 1, 2, 3, Broncos!
All right, Sunday night, where are you? Just kicking back from the things that you do. You want the big game, we want it too. Hey Jack, it's a fact, the best show in town. A better grudge match can't be found. Al and John will make you crank up the sound. The NFL's best have come to play. For every fan, there's just one thing left to say. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. The tough get rough in a primetime fight. The last one standing gets to turn out the lights. 'Cause I've been waiting all day for Sunday night.
15 to 10, you ain't gonna catch him. Touchdown, Raiders! The one-handed catch. Denver has got a touchdown. Oh, my.
Sunday night football on NBC. The only game that you have to see. Don't need a ticket, all you need's a TV. 'Cause the NFL rocks on NBC.
The weather can be anything in mid-October in Denver, but tonight, this Sunday night, has come up perfect. 64 degrees, no threat of rain, and out onto the field at Invesco Field at Mile High come the Denver Broncos, ready to take on Randy Moss and the Oakland Raiders on NBC's Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels along with John Madden, Andrew Kramer, welcome to Denver. These teams have been meeting since 1960. They are 2 of the 8 original American Football League teams. Now the Raiders come in 0-4. Last year they lost their last 6 games. Norv Turner got fired. Thus they have now lost 10 straight games. If you're looking for a silver and black lining tonight, it's that Art Shell, the current coach of the Raiders, is 10-1 against the Broncos. However, he has not coached a game against the Broncos since 1994. Now, as far as Denver is concerned, they've scored only 49 points, but they are 3-1, averaging only 12 points a game. Their offense has been very inconsistent, but in a word, their defense has been fabulous. In 4 games, they've allowed only 1 touchdown. That's 1 touchdown allowed in a quarter of the season. John, I look at Chicago. Now, the Bears' offense has caught up with the defense, and they are a superpower at the moment. If Denver's offense catches up to the defense, they can be a superpower. Do you see that happening?
Yeah, I do, because I think they have the ingredients, Al, and it starts with Mike Shanahan, who is a great offensive coach. And then you go, they have a good offensive line. They have Tatum Bell running the ball now. They got Javon Walker as a wide receiver who's a real deal. And talking to Mike Shanahan the other day, he said that Jake Plummer just hasn't been consistent, and we have to get him started. He said, you know, the way that they play in the 4th quarter, he says we love that. He said we would like to take that same urgency and play that way in the first half.
We'll see what kind of a start they get off to tonight against the Raiders. Just looking for a win. 0-4 this year, 10 straight. So Arshel, he's looking for answers. John, what are the answers here?
That's tough, you know, because when you lose, you lose confidence. The Raiders come in tonight and they're not a confident team, and they just have to get a win, you know, and they've been shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, you know, it's about turnovers, it's about not tackling and those kinds of things, but they have some good players. They have some big-time players, but they have to play like good players. They have to play like big-time players. I'm talking about Randy Moss. You know, he's still a threat. I'm talking about Lamont Jordan. He has to run. I'm talking about Warren Sapp. I'm talking about Derek Burgess. Their big-time players have to play big-time if they're going to have a chance.
And you're talking about the Raiders and the Broncos, one of the great rivalries in the NFL. They've been meeting for 46 seasons.
Being a Bronco now, you understand the passion people have for hating the Raiders. And you kind of buy into it. I'm becoming a Raider hater. I mean, you have to be if you're a Bronco.
'Cause the NFL rocks on NBC.
Druids Glen Golf Resort, voted European Golf Resort of the Year 2005. A golfer's paradise in the Garden of Ireland. 2 championship golf courses of contrasting design. The luxurious Marriott Druids Glen Hotel and Country Club, featuring 148 specially appointed guest rooms and a magnificent spa and health centre. Visit our driving range, pro shops, golf academy, and get your golfing tips or tuition from our resident PGA teaching professional.
It's no fun when you can't sleep. Time seems to stand still. You just can't switch off. And it feels like you're the only one. But you don't have to put up with it. Nitol can help you drift off into a natural sleep. So you wake up refreshed in the morning. Good mornings follow a good Nitol.
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
Pretty glassy out here today, huh?
Yeah, pretty calm.
What's Jonathan Chicho doing out here?
He's just here to remind you the hockey season started.
Jonathan Chicho scores!
The lovely and talented Sid Sixero. Stop it. I'm the bald dude.
Catch all your sports news highlights and analysis daily on Score Tonight.
Woo! What's he doing? I just don't know. Check this out, 720. For real, count it. Watch the move. Oh, you're my boy, Blue!
Score Tonight up to 3 times daily only on NASN.
Mile High Stadium was next door to this stadium. This was constructed in 2000, opened in 2001, and it's called Invesco Field at Mile High, so they kept the Mile High portion of it in the name, and Sebastian Janikowski will kick off. Back to receive is Quincy Morgan, who was in training camp with the Pittsburgh Steelers, then was let go. Winds up here, and at 5,280 feet, Janikowski hits it on the fly out of the end zone, the back of the end zone. Here's the Bronco offense.
Jake Plummer, Arizona State.
Tatum Bell, Oklahoma State.
Kyle Johnson, Syracuse.
Rod Smith, Missouri Southern.
Javon Walker, Florida State.
Steven Alexander, Oklahoma.
Matt Lepsis is the left tackle, Ben Hamilton at left guard. The center is Tom Neion. The right guard is Cooper Carlisle, and the right tackle is George Foster. And if you've been following the Broncos for years, you know it's a tradition. It's been going on about 12 to 14 years now. They do not talk. So they're mute. They hit the mute button, and I had to tell you who they were as Tatum Bell makes the catch behind the line of scrimmage. And is taken down for a loss of 1 by the rookie linebacker Thomas Howard. Jake Plummer, his numbers don't sparkle, but his winning percentage does. Since he was an Arizona Cardinal, came over here, now in his 4th season with Denver, he wins about 3/4 of his games, 35-12.
Yeah, and he's not a real accurate quarterback, and he's not a real consistent quarterback, but he is a winner.
On 2nd and 11, Tatum Bell up to the 24, 3rd and 6, and let's take a look at the Oakland defense.
Derek Burgess, Ole Miss.
Tommy Kelly, Proline High School.
Warren Sapp, the University of Miami.
Tyler Brayton, Colorado.
Sam Williams, Fresno State.
Kirk Morrison, San Diego State.
Thomas Howard, UTEP.
Steph Farrell, Houston.
Stuart Schweigert, Purdue.
Michael Huff, 2005 national champions, Texas Longhorns.
Nnamdi Asamoah, University of California, Berkeley.
Warren Sapp always to the beat of his own drummer. Everybody else says the U, he just says the University of Miami. And on 3rd and 6, it's a first down as Bell breaks a tackle, breaks another one, and gets out to the 40-yard line where Asamoah makes the hit.
And that's one of the big problems. I was talking about the Raiders, and their defense is missed tackles. So here they start. You're going to see Jake Plummer come here, and he's going to dump the ball to a short guy. Now, he doesn't have a first down. You got to make that tackle right there. Thomas Howard doesn't, so the Broncos get a first down.
Howard, the rookie, second-round draft choice from the University of Texas, El Paso. First down at the 40. The Broncos are looking for their first points in any first quarter of any game this season. And a little dump off underneath, and Tatum Bell with the catch there. So 2 little passes to Bell in the backfield, both for losses. Kirk Morrison makes the tackle. And there it is, 11 drives, 4 turnovers, and no points.
I was just going to say the interesting thing about that is Mike Shanahan is a very good head coach. He's a very good play caller, and he scripts the first 15, and they've always been really tough on those plays, and he's taken pride in that. And now that he hasn't scored a point, he's taking that personally.
No points in the first quarter. In the second quarters this season, they've scored 20. And again, only 49 total in the 4 games. The 3 receivers set to the right. They give it to Bell. Tatum Bell winning the starting job. When training camp started, it appeared that Mike Bell, who played his college football at Arizona and was a rookie, was going to be the starter. Tatum Bell now coming out in his 3rd season, and they just felt he didn't break enough tackles and that maybe Mike Bell would give them a little bit more explosiveness. But Tatum was put into the game in New England, carried 27 times on a Sunday night 3 weeks ago, and now he's to the point where he just takes himself out of the game, which he does right here.
As he just did.
So now Mike Bell comes into the game, number 20, on 3rd down and 9 from the 41-yard line. Plummer, he can run. And he runs for a first down.
Yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say about Jake Plummer is that, you know, that he can make plays in the passing game. He can throw the short passes, but he can also run with the ball. And here's a big play here. If you give him this type of gap, if you get those ends up the field and the tackles are pinned inside, he's going to run for the first down. You can't give him these kind of lanes. If you're going to get your ends outside and up the field, you have to get those tackles pushing straight up in his face, or he'll do this to you all night.
Got 11 on a 3rd and 9, so 2 third down conversions. The ball at the Oakland 48, and here's Mike Bell over the left side for a gain of 2, tackled there by the outside linebacker Sam Williams.
You know, getting back to Tatum Bell, I knew when Mike Shanahan, you know, started Mike Bell that there had to be a reason for it, and it wasn't, you know, a motivational thing or a disciplinary thing, but he didn't like the way Tatum Bell was running. He didn't think that he was finishing his runs, and he said, you know, his yards after contact aren't good, and he said they're getting a little better, but until he can really do that, you know, and take on some tackles and keep on going, he's really not a Mike Shanahan back.
Kyle Johnson, the fullback, went limping off. Mike Bell stays in the game, and then the guy who replaces Johnson is Cecil Sapp, and he makes the catch in the flat outside at the 44-yard line. So here's Denver again with a third down. Rob Ryan, son of Buddy Ryan, and whose brother is the defensive coordinator for the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens were in here 6 nights ago, so it's another Ryan as the DC across the way from Shanahan.
And they don't use the same defense, although they did share some ideas about defending the Broncos. And I think here, again, on any 3rd down, you have to be aware of a Jake Plummer run.
3rd down and 6. Plummer has that one tipped, and it's incomplete. So Plummer throwing over the middle, had that one knocked away by somebody in the interior, maybe Tommy Kelly, and it's going to be 4th down.
You know, that's one of the things about these, you know, this Bronco offensive line is a very good offensive line, but they're the smallest offensive line in football. And what happens is they do get pushed up the middle a little. And at that time, you just see Tommy Kelly. Ben Hamilton was beating him. Kelly got a little push, and then when you stop your push and the guy starts to throw, you just get your hands up.
Paul Ernster will do the punting. Chris Carr signals for the fair catch and makes it at the 17-yard line. So we'll look at the Oakland Raiders offensively for the first time with 9:23 remaining in the opening quarter. Sun going down over the Rocky Mountains outside Denver. No score.
Some people think the internet is a bad thing, a place for mankind to exercise its darkest desires. An open market where you can buy anything you want. Somewhere that is destroying the last of our privacy. Some people think the internet is a bad thing. What do you think?
As well as being a thirst-quenching soft drink,
Yes, that's right, Dave.
a Sprite is also a sort of goblin. This Sprite is not so refreshing at a festival. And it definitely hasn't got any taste.
Here we go. Right and left and right and right. Left and right and right and left.
Try new Sprite Z. Great Sprite taste, 0 added sugar.
Hi, I'm Jason Schmidt of the San Francisco Giants. Watch live Major League Baseball all season long on NASN, Europe's #1 channel for MLB.
For that billboard.
Do they ski in those mountains right there?
Oh, it opened this week. We'll get a report from Malibu Kelly Hayes, who lives in Aspen, a little later. Lamont Jordan picks up 5 as he takes it across the 20 to the 22. Let's take a look at the Oakland offense.
Andrew Walter, Arizona State.
Lamar Jordan, University of Maryland.
Zach Crockett, Florida State.
Randy Moss, Marshall.
Albus Whitted, North Carolina State University.
Courtney Anderson, San Jose State. Robert Gallery, Iowa. Barry Sims, Utah.
Jake Grove, Virginia Tech.
Kevin Booth, Cornell.
Langston Walker, California.
And on 2nd down and 6, that is Lamont Jordan, the former New York Jet, for a gain of 1. Aaron Brooks was picked up from New Orleans. Now, he would have been the starter and was in training camp, but he has a shoulder injury. So thus it is Andrew Walter, who was a 3rd-round draft pick out of Arizona State in 2005. And in fact, what the Raiders think of Walter was expressed in the draft this year. They passed on Matt Leinart out of USC. They passed on Jay Cutler out of Vanderbilt, who's now with the Denver Broncos. And that told you that they thought that Walter was the guy. We'll find out. Walter throws over the middle, and that catch is made very close to a 1st down by Randy Moss. Let's see where the spot is. You can see the yellow line, and they're going to put it just about on the line here. And that should be a 1st down, and it's so signaled by referee Jeff Triplett.
Yeah, we're talking about in the opening that the Raiders do have some big-time players, and no matter what you think of Randy Moss, he's still a big threat. And I'll tell you, defensive players and defensive coordinators worry about him as much as any offensive player in the league because he has great speed. Look how deep those safeties are.
From the 27, they give it to Jordan. And let's take a look at the Denver starting defense.
Kennard Lane, the U.
Michael Myers, Alabama.
Gerard Warren, Florida.
Ebenezer Ekubon, Carolina.
DJ Williams, the U.
Al Wilson, Tennessee.
Ian Gold, Michigan.
Champ Bailey, Georgia.
John Lynch, Stanford.
Nick Ferguson, Georgia Tech.
Darren Williams, Oklahoma State.
And that defense, as we said at the top, 1 touchdown allowed. That a 4th quarter touchdown to New England in 4 games. 2nd and 9. Walter in the pocket. Protection is good. Pass is good. Over the middle to the tight end, Courtney Anderson. So back-to-back first downs for the Raiders, and we should bring you up to speed here with the Jerry Porter suspension because Andrea Kramer had it on football night just before we came on the air. But Jerry Porter, who would have been the number 2 receiver coming into the season, but has been inactive. He got sideways with Art Shell in the spring, and then they kept him out of training camp with a hamstring pull. And of course, he was a guy who maybe would have been activated perhaps by tonight, but then in practice on Friday, Art said, "You're suspended for 4 games." Will it hold is the question. The league, of course, the NFLPA, will appeal it. And this is Lamont Jordan going nowhere. Ebenezer Ekubon makes the tackle. But John, you think about the Raiders. When the season is going to begin, they're going to have Randy Moss 1, Porter 2, Doug Gabriel 3. That's pretty good. Now you've got Moss, who has expressed his displeasure. You've got Porter, who is suspended, and Gabriel's in New England.
Yeah, but as a coach and as a man, I mean, you can't take it. I mean, if Jerry Porter doesn't want to play and he's going to be insubordinate and he's going to, swear at coaches and not do what he's told to do, you can't have that on your team, or your whole team would go in that direction.
2nd and 15. Walker throws, and that's deflected and incomplete. Courtney Anderson, the intended receiver. DJ Williams with the coverage. Let's go to Andrea.
Well, you guys are talking about Porter and Art Shell saying it was insubordination and being disruptive. What I'm told happened by Raiders sources is that near the end of Friday's practice, Moss was goofing around. Art Shell asked him to stop. He didn't do so. He was complaining and cursing about the length of the practice, and that was it for Art Shell. He kicked him off the field, and so expect a appeal from the NFLPA to be issued tomorrow.
Thank you, Andrea. Porter goofing around, and that's why Art Shell said, enough. And there's a flag, and Walter goes down. Elvis Dumerville out of Louisville, 4th round draft choice, rookie, comes in, and for the moment will get the sack. And let's take a look at the call. Raiders indicate against Denver.
Yeah, and you look at this guy, as you say, out of Louisville, and he doesn't look like a defensive lineman. I was looking at the other in practice the other day, and he's about 5'10" or 5'11", but he has long arms, and he just has an instinct to be a pass rusher.
Hands to the face. Number 61 in the defense. The 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
61, of course, is Gerard Warren. But, one thing about the Broncos now, they don't really blitz a lot anymore, but they do with these line stunts. You see, Dumerville started outside as an end, and he comes inside. The tackle starts inside and works outside. That's called a palms or a line stunt, and the Broncos do that as much as anyone in football on passing down.
Costly penalty. Automatic first down, of course, as he got his hands, Warren did, into the face of Kevin Booth. Lamont Jordan, remember Jordan for a number of seasons in New York playing behind Curtis Martin, which meant he wasn't playing very much, and then wanted to be the feature back and found a home with the Raiders last year.
You always worry about those guys that, are backups that come in and, in the 3rd and 4th quarter when running is a lot easier and the starting back does all the tough work and they come in, can they really be a starter? And I think Lamont Jordan is proving that he probably can be. 2nd and 4. And Lamont Jordan already has carried 6 times now, and that's John Lynch who comes in to trip him up. John Lynch suffering a pinched nerve last Monday night in the game against Baltimore. He had to come out of the game, but didn't miss any practice this week. Yeah, but did he play well last week? I mean, look at him. He's a safety there, and the Broncos have 3 very good, fast linebackers. When they bring John Lynch up there, they're playing, in essence, with 4 linebackers. He's not just a safety that comes up and stands there. He comes up and he plays like a linebacker. Lynch, 14th season. Somebody, of course, with Tampa Bay, won a Super Bowl there against Oakland after the 2002 year. And a flag before the snap. Yeah, I was watching the tape of that.
False start. Number 76 in the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 3rd down.
The Bronco game against the Ravens last week, and John Lynch was such a big part of that. And we talk about Al Wilson, the middle linebacker, who's a very good player, and Ian Gold and DJ Williams, the outside linebackers. But when Lynch comes up, and he, in essence, is the 4th linebacker, that really frees those other guys that have great speed, frees them to flow quickly. 3rd down and 7.
Walter slips but wasn't contacted, so the play is alive, and they get the first down as he gets up and gets it off to Jordan, who caught 70 passes, more than any other running back in the league last year, and a first down for the Raiders after a 16-yard gain to the Denver 44.
You know, and that's what Art Shell was talking about last night, that in the first two games, the Raiders had pass protection problems. So then they started to keep their backs in. And then so that put fewer receivers out. And then Andrew Walter had more time, but he didn't have anyone open to throw to. So tonight, they're going to use their backs more in the short passing game and the checkdowns like that play.
Now the new back is Justin Fargas, who's averaging 9 yards a carry as the backup to Jordan. So Jordan came out, and Fargas, in his 4th year out of USC, 3rd-round pick in 03, has made the most of his opportunities. And you've got Langston Walker, the right tackle for the Raiders, who is down on the turf. Injury timeout, no score in Denver.
You pick the phone, you fix the monthly bill, so you always know what's coming. You fix from T-Mobile.
As well as being a thirst-quenching soft drink,
Right, Dave?
a Sprite is also a sort of goblin. This Sprite is not so refreshing at a festival. And it definitely hasn't got any taste. Try new Sprite Z. Great Sprite taste, 0 added sugar.
The right tackle, Langston Walker, who went hobbling off the field. He's replaced by Chad Slaughter, who's the backup left tackle, has to go to right tackle because Brad Badger, the backup right tackle, is inactive tonight. 2nd and 4, and you got Fargas again, taken down by Kennard Lang, one of the many ex-Cleveland Browns who play along that Denver defensive front. And there's a familiar face looking up at his own countenance right now on the monitor, John Elway, who went off into a Rocky Mountain sunset after the 1998 season by winning the Super Bowl.
He was a great one. I mean, he was tough to play against because he was such a good thrower and good runner and could do everything. I did his last game, which was a Super Bowl victory, and he said it wasn't anything other than his body telling him he had to retire. He said, you know, that's what'll happen. Your body says you can't play anymore. They had 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. He said, if I could have 2 weeks every game, I'd still be playing.
Timeout Raiders.
TV Digital ist da. 14 Tage volles Programm. Top-Übersichtlichkeit im großen Format. Neu und einzigartig in Deutschland. Komplett mit allen Programmen von Kabel Digital Home. Plus ARD, RTL, Pro7 und Co. in einem Heft. Alle 31 Kabel Deutschland Programme mit Bewertung und allen Sendeterminen. Bestellen Sie jetzt Ihr Abo unter 080 5 99 77 44. TV Digital. Das ist die Zukunft.
Escapes our production crew. You want to know why the Raiders had to take a timeout? Jake Grove lost his shoe right there. Couldn't get it back on. And thus they had to take a timeout. Better in the first half than the second half, though. On 3rd and 2 now, Walter is going to go deep for Moss in the end zone, and it's incomplete. The ball hung, and John Lynch was able to get back there. Champ Bailey also covering on the play. You know Moss is going to draw a crowd, but the ball just hung in the light air, and it's incomplete.
I think Andrew Walter tried to make this throw. I mean, he was trying to put some air under it to get a jump ball right there. Had he not put so much air on it and got the ball a little sooner to Randy Moss, that possibly could have been a touchdown, although that was good coverage. I mean, the Broncos had 2 guys right there.
Now, Sebastian Janikowski will attempt a 54-yard field goal. Shane Lechner to hold. He certainly has the leg for it, but not the accuracy. Of course, the downside to that is that it gives Denver the ball near midfield. Moss and Bailey making acquaintances early.
You want to know more about German baseball? Just click www.baseball.de.
Some people think the internet is a bad thing, a place for mankind to exercise its darkest desires. An open market where you can buy anything you want. Somewhere that is destroying the last of our privacy. Some people think the internet is a bad thing. What do you think?
NHL returns to NASN.
Pacific 6 Central and Mountain. And don't forget the Mountain Time Zone as we're coming to you from Denver, Colorado with 1:33 remaining in the opening half after the missed field goal. Plummer rolling left, buying a ton of time, going deep, and the ball is caught at the 5-yard line by Javon Walker, who's become their big play guy.
Well, there's no way that you can play against the Denver Broncos and let Jake Plummer get outside on a bootleg like this. Because you say, when is Jake Plummer the best? I'm going to show you right here. Here's a bootleg. Fake everyone that way. Look, the whole Raider team went to that side. He comes out here. He has the whole side of the field to step up to make that throw to Javon Walker. You cannot let him do this. Plus, you can't let Javon Walker do this. Javon Walker is a big-time threat for this Bronco offense. And this is what I was talking about earlier. Once they get that going and they get Jake going and he can bootleg and the running game and all that stuff, this can be an offense equal to the defense.
1st and goal when we come back at the 2.
Nurofen, fast, targeted relief for pain.
Freedom for backs. New heat patches from Nurofen.
Ever wished you could be there to see your team in action? With Game On Holidays, you can combine that big match atmosphere with the holiday of a lifetime for the whole family. we offer city breaks and holidays incorporating all U.S. sports, including NASCAR. All you have to do is visit our website and choose the games or races you want to see, and we'll do the rest. Great seats, great games, great value. Game on.
Live and exclusive Major League Baseball on NASN gets even closer to the World Series as we bring you live coverage of the Championship Series. The four best teams in baseball battle it out for a shot at the World Series in a best-of-7, and NASN will bring you all the action live. The MLB Championship Series, live and exclusive on NASN. Log on to NASN.com for scheduling and information.